Attack. Attack of the show. Attack.
Hey, welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. Yo soy Chris Hardwick.
And I don't speak Spanish, but I'm Alice Paisley. We are going to be live from the G4 studios in Los Angeles.
But before we begin, let's check in with Kevin and Olivia, who are joining us once again via satellite from an undisclosed location.
Oh, hey!
Hey.
Hey, everybody!
Hi.
Oh, hello there!
Hi, guys.
Hey!
Chris Hardwick.
It's great to be joining you guys live. This is a big deal for us. We're really
Huge.
excited.
We're so excited. We love getting away, but we
Love
miss you
it.
guys a lot. And Kevin and I just wanted to tell you guys that we are having so much fun in
Prison.
I personally love.
Jail.
That's right. And today's show is looking great. I mean, there were so many good
so
things
many.
on it, like
DV Tuesday.
Right, and of course,
Rebecca Mader.
you know, and we're just so crazy about,
The show lost.
right?
you know,
Oh,
big
God.
deal.
So
Big
have
deal.
fun hosting the show and do a good job, or we'll.
Shank you,
What she said. She's a kid.
Anyway,
Allison. Chris.
all right. Thanks for having us live on the show.
Now, Olivia and I really have to get back to
Prison.
we just love it.
Handcuffs. And strip searches.
Viking.
What?
We love it.
It's a co-ed prison.
Yeah,
Mine's
it
coming
is.
on.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Once again, lives depending on this show.
Indeed. On this very show today, wonderful wizard clothes. It's the 1970s. It's a menswear ad that's so surreal, we're pretty sure that only Don Draper on acid could have created it. It's in Around the Net. Plus, more viewer-requested Gadget prawn. That ought to shut your face holes. The Palm Pre Plus has a refreshed QWERTY keyboard and twice as much storage. Find out if we say bye, droid, or jobs in just a little bit.
Then it's the South by Southwest DV Tuesday. Chris Gore's bringing DVDs of his favorite films from previous South Bys, like Melvin Goes to Dinner and Super Troopers. And Rebecca Mader from Lost will be here live in studio to spoil the last season. Yes!
But right now, it's time to run down the top 5 things on the web.
We are going around the net.
Yay! Hooray! Today's number 5 comes to us from the sideline of a rally car race, also known as the deadliest place in sports that isn't an Oakland Raiders game.
Rally car drivers have it tough enough when they're not driving into trees. They have to deal with fans that set up distractions like this.
We had a marshal telling them to move from this. Granddad. Yeah. Well, we are too, mate. These bloody things.
That scarecrow made me feel a little something, but it wasn't fear.
Ew.
I don't know if the crows are scared by that or if they're supposed to mount it. That's a weird.
Hardwick saliva.
Well, that's what happens when you stick your finger in my saliva hole. That's what's going to happen.
Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Your saliva hole?
Yes.
That's hot.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Back in February, we
Want
brought
a little bit more? Yeah, plenty more. And scene.
Okay, so back in February, we brought you Russia's Rickroll, Mr. Ed Kill, who in 1976 just sang the hell out of a song without any lyrics. So, unfortunately, the amount of vodka you need to sing along with that song also happens to be fatal.
But by now, the world and its mom is acquainted with Comrade Trololo, but the internet today stripped him of what little talent he possessed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tonight, bye-bye. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I almost feel like that one makes more sense than the original.
That one makes a little more sense, but Trololo is cesium-137 for your ears.
Wait, is that like Blink 182?
Almost exactly. I'm kidding, Mark Hoppus, you're nice.
You're so worried about offending people on this show.
I am. Shut up about it. Move on. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Whatever.
I'm weak.
Okay, question for our viewers. Are you a wizard living in the 1970s?
Do you put on a mustache before you go out?
And do you require the latest in men's fashions?
Are you Salvador Dali? If you answered C to any of these questions, then you'll want to set up and pay attention to today's number trace.
Yeah, it's a vintage spot for ICI's fibers that's back on top of the web.
The new way to dress is suits tailored with flair in terraline plus T. Shirts in terraline cotton. Crimpline for men. The comfort revolution. The new way to dress is trousers that move with you. In crimpline for men. Imprinted by nylon. And crimpline for men.
By the way, nice binary mustache. That guy's eyes had a mustache.
I just think that that's a production company that finally figured out how to use a green screen.
They did.
They were like, we're going to make an entire commercial where this guy just disappears in a wall.
Also, mounds of LSD at the time probably helped as well.
But you know what?
What?
Those clothes are totally going to get you laid.
And trapped in another dimension. A weird,
Or in a
stocky
window.
dimension with no depilatory creams and lots of hair.
But at least you have polyester pants.
Hooray!
All right, in at number 2 is a short video by photographer Michael Greco.
Apparently, some Japanese gentlemen have created what can only be described as a mechanical penis machine. And according to one of them, the ladies love it.
Not this lady.
I created this machine. We call the name is the Tender Lover. About 4 years ago, it's mismatched the equipment for the lady. Right now, it's just like the normal man, maybe faster like a Superman, and can get more. It's like a beast. We can combine the low frequency, just like a man, together. It's a high frequency. Okay, go. The both together, combine together. Change the frequency. We can get the wonderful resonance. Can tickle the inside the G-spot and get a feel very nice. It's a wonderful feeling. The best in the world. Yes, it's great.
Is that like a polygraph for a dildo? That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, first off, no one wants a crab claw near their genitals. Yeah.
Some people do.
Ew. Ew, Chris. No.
Too much information? Or just enough?
I'm going to go with too much.
All right.
All right, still ahead. The miracle of reproduction is reduced to an addictive flash game and it involves crab claws.
Buckle your seatbelts. We're going to go on a sperm race in our number 1 ATN.
So do you stand over that thing? Is that how that
You want
works?
to go to Red Lobster later?
Stand here?
Get some crab
No,
claws?
I don't want to go to Red Lobster.
This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Sony Make.Believe. Believe that anything you can imagine, you can make real.
Heaven says, eat me.
Diversion found on the website of a new National Geographic show
called Sizing Up Sperm.
Yeah.
A documentary which uses actual people to represent 250 million sperm on their treacherous quest to be the first to reach a single egg.
Yeah, it's a real-life tribute to the miracle of making babies.
Yeah. Possibly the best part, though, Allison?
Yeah, the best part is a flash game that's called the Great Sperm Race, where basically you try to get a lady pregnant.
Yeah! Let's see if we can spread our seed.
All right.
All right,
Okay,
you
so
wanna
I'm
go
going to
first?
play level 1.
All right.
It's called the vagina. We ready?
Yeah.
All right, here I go.
Don't you feel like this should start
So-
with a sound effect of a dude going, "Ugh, I'm sorry"?
Yes, it totally should. I'm sorry.
Level 1 is the vagina.
so
Watch
I'm
out
a
for the vaginal acid.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm the little black sperm right
You're
now.
gonna. By the way, if your sperm is that color, you're dying.
I'm hoping I don't have any sperm.
So
oh
there's,
no, I stuck to the
there's
wall.
acid up. What is this, alien?
Oh god, oh
What
god.
kind of weird alien vagina is this?
It also spits acid at you.
Spitting acid. Hey, you're following that little guy. He sure has a lot of moxie. The cursor's in the
I'm
way.
concerned about my vagina spitting acid, to be quite honest with you. That looks a little weird.
Well.
Oh my gosh, did I make it? Ah! Oh my gosh! Ah!
Do it!
Ah! Yeah! Alright, so now Chris is going to... There's also the cervix and the uterine wall, but Chris is just going to go right to the end.
Right now I'm going to try to smear my man mayo on the Egg McMuffin.
That's awkward. But this is the boss battle. It's in the fallopian tubes, and Chris has to collect all the nutrients until an egg is released.
You know, like you do in actual
in real life. I feel like being a sperm is
We've all
really
been there, am I right, people?
This is... I'm more interested in the video that showed all the
Come back here.
the people who are playing the sperm. Wait, what?
I think I got it.
Are you doing it? You
I
got
think
it.
I
What?
got it.
So why are the nutrients spitting and sparkly and all of that?
This is exactly what it looks like inside.
Okay, you know what? Your capacitation timer is not going up at all.
Yeah, that's because I'm gobbling these things up.
Are you?
Well, these two are having a little
I
makeout party.
thought it had to... You just headbutted that sperm.
Yeah, that's right, because that's what I do.
Wait, I thought this had to get all the way to red before an egg was released.
I don't know. Egg release!
Score! Go! Impregnate, Chris! Impregnate! Impregnate! Get that! Impregnate her! She's a son! Do it!
Yeah! Oh, you're going! You're going down! You're going down! Here it comes! Wait! Oh! There goes my tail! My beautiful tail!
The sun smiled at the end. Oh, wait. Oh, God, it's growing. Oh, boy. Now we have to pay for college.
Crap, now we gotta raise it.
Yeah.
We did it, though!
Chris and I made a virtual baby.
We certainly did.
It's adorable and really smart.
Well, now we need to take a shower, so let's take a quick game break to talk about my sperm.
Okay, let's not do that. And instead, we'll review a phone and gadget prawn. How about that?
Fine, but I'm still going to work my baby batter in. Go to g4tv.com/aroundthenet. All week long, we're taking gadget requests. No free bird!
So the Palm Pre got tweaked and stuffed with way more storage.
Let's find out if it's worth buying.
Are you a dedicated Verizon customer who's always wanted Palm's web OS? Well, fear not, my friends. The Palm Pre Plus is here, and it's exclusive to Verizon. With a revamped full QWERTY keyboard and twice as much storage capacity and RAM, you'll notice an overall smoother experience than the original Pre. Join the web OS army for $30 plus a contract.
Okay.
If you just give me 7 minutes, we can try that game again. What's up, dudes? All right, dudes? What's up? Refractory period in his house. All right. Oh, yes, the phone.
We actually used to have a word for that. I can't... Never mind. I'm not even going to go into it. All right. So in terms of size, the Pre Plus, exact same size as the original. See?
Yay.
Oh, they're like twins.
Yep.
But look! The new one doesn't have the little home button.
No.
That's how you tell the difference. Now, the new one, it weighs just as much as an iPhone. It feels sturdy. It's smaller than the Droid and the iPhone, but that also means the touchscreen is smaller. Like I said, they got rid of the home button for a sleeker feel, but they also, they improved the keyboard, if we can see that.
Yep.
There's more space on the new one, and it has clickier keys so you can feel it better. Have the improvements helped?
I'm going to say they have, Allison. They said
fantastic.
The finger swipes and gestures are easier without the button, and it fits better in your pocket. Keyboard does feel easier to type on. We still kind of wish they would include a virtual keyboard, you know, just in case that you don't want to actually open the phone, but that takes less than a second, so it's not that big of a deal. Even the slider feels sturdier than the original.
All right, now they doubled the storage in this one. This one's got 16 gigs. They also doubled the RAM. So in theory, you can launch apps faster and run more of them at once. Is that the case? Fingers crossed.
For the most part, it was. Launching apps hasn't gotten that much faster. I mean, normal apps like the browser and Google Maps, they still open about the same. You will definitely see difference in larger apps like, what? Assassin's Creed. Yeah, Assassin's Creed. Yep, on your phone.
That's
now,
pretty sweet.
when it comes to multitasking, WebOS is still our favorite operating system because of the card system that you run on it.
Right.
The Plus can run more than twice the apps at the same time as the original Pre.
That's twice as many apps.
That's twice as many apps. The touchscreen still has a little bit of a lag, but I gotta say it works pretty well.
Okay, so what kind of features have they added to the Pre Plus?
Only a few. Now, for one, this is actually awesome. It can become a Wi-Fi hotspot for up to 5 devices.
Whoa.
The app is easy to use and gives good download speeds, but it's $40 more a month with a 5 GB data cap. So, but again, still pretty cool. 3D games run a lot faster, like Asphalt 5. Graphics look smoother, much more of an iPhone-like experience.
That's nice.
And guys, Flash now supported by WebOS devices.
Wow, that was a fantastic song too.
Thanks, that was my favorite song. It's an old yarn my granddaddy used to spin about
But
Flash
the
apps.
iPhone doesn't
And
know it.
By the way, this runs really well in the Pre Plus too. They have done an amazing job.
Now, it's only $30 with a contract on Verizon. Apparently, Amazon just lowered the price today. So at that price, that's pretty incredible. What are we giving it?
You know, Allison, I promised myself I wouldn't cry about this, but
God.
5 out of 5! This might be a first. I'm not sure.
First on a phone?
It is the first 5 out of 5.
On a phone?
On anything.
On anything? We've
Yeah,
never given anything a
congratulations.
5 out of 5?
$30 on Verizon, for crap's sake. It's one of the cheapest smartphones on the market and one of the best, definitely in the same league as the iPhone Droid or the Nexus One. And of course, Verizon, so you'll actually be able to make calls on it. What's that
I know, because I've been on them since birth, basically. By the way, I remember the word. We used to call it a lance.
What's that?
After my friend Tara Lance. Never mind. It's a story I can't tell on TV. But we totally used to call it a lance. I finally remembered.
What are you talking about?
Back to the 7 minutes thing.
There's a hole in the show where momentum used to go.
I'm just happy that I remembered the word.
That's it for today's Gadget Prawn, but if you have a gadget you would like to see us
7
rate,
minutes,
email us at
Lance.
gadgetprawn@g4tv.com.
All right, still ahead, the FCC hiked up its skirt, spread its legs, and laid out its ambitious broadband plan today.
Schwa?
We will tell you why you should care and what it might mean for you in the loop.
And later on, Rebecca Mader from Lost will be here live in studio. I'm sure she's going to tell us all about how the show ends. Spoiler warning.
Lance.
This guy's trying to land on this makeshift ramp. What happens next? Does he lose his balance and fall off the rail? Does he immediately break the ramp upon landing? Or does he just land flat on his face? Find out when we return. This guy's trying to land on this makeshift ramp. What happens next? Does he lose his balance and fall off the rail? Does he immediately break the ramp upon landing? Or does he just land flat on his face? You see, I was under the impression that skateboarding required balance.
Hooray, we're live.
And the Newsmaster 5000 is ready to go.
I hope I don't mess this up. That's a bold title. Let's start it. Let's start the feed. All right, it is Tuesday, March 16th. Here are your top stories. Get ready to plug your hair into your TV set because the Avatar DVD release has been officially announced, nerds. That's right, you can expect to see the first edition on DVD and Blu-ray in stores on April 22nd. These first releases, however, won't have any special features whatsoever in order to free up the data space on the disc. They're also nixing motion menus, studio logos, and anything that might needlessly take up extra room. But I assume the movie will actually be on there, hopefully. Anyway, supposedly mastering Avatar on Blu-ray took 6 weeks compared to the typical 2 weeks, and the transfer is something of a record breaker. Multi-disc special edition Blu-ray will be made available in November, but according to Fox Entertainment, you won't be seeing the eventual 3D release anytime soon.
According to mobile analytics company Flurry, the Nexus 1 has pulled El Suckerino. That's right, after 74 days on the market, Google's smartphone has only sold 135,000 units. Compare this to the 1.05 million Droid units sold by Verizon in the first 74 days of its existence, or the 1 million iPhones that were purchased by that time as well. Now, even though the Nexus 1 is only available online and only through T-Mobile, it's obvious that Google's plan to disrupt carriers by selling direct to the customer is off to a pretty bumpy start. Google, however, isn't wasting any time answering its critics and has announced the launch of a second version of the Nexus 1 that will work on AT&T's 3G network, which will make the phone significantly faster. Let's rewind to when I said it would work on AT&T's network. You're a liar, Google. NASA could be close to proving the existence of a Death Star. What? That's right. We've always taken it for granted that our sun is the only star in our solar system, but it turns out we're pretty arrogant. We might be a binary system. Who knew? According to NASA scientists, a brown dwarf could be hiding in the vast collection of icy bodies called the Oort cloud, and it could be bombarding the Earth with comets. The star, referred to as Nemesis, or the Death Star, has been a working theory mostly to explain the waves of mass extinctions on Earth every 26 million years or so. But now NASA's new satellite, WISE, might be able to prove its existence for the first time. And if that is the case, Bruce Willis, dude, we need you. Be there for us. And finally, I'm not making this up, Mike Tyson is getting ready to make his debut as a reality television star. Yes, the world loves me! The former world heavyweight boxing champ has agreed to star in a series about pigeon racing on Animal Planet. The show will pit Iron Mike and his birdies against the best racing pigeon owners in New York City. What? I'm going to keep going because this is real. The fighter is said to keep a few hundred pigeons in his lofts in Brooklyn and Jersey City, but apparently he's never raced the birds before. Really? The show called Take on Tyson is set to air sometime early next year. That is so fantastic. I'm Blair Herter, and you have just been fed.
Hey, me again. You know, the FCC just announced their national broadband plan to bring lightning-fast broadband to all of us. We're going to tell you all about it right here in The Loop and what stands in the way right here in The Loop.
Did you know a third of American homes still rely on a dial-up connection or don't have any internet at all? Well, if the FCC has its way, that's all about to change thanks to the National Broadband Plan. If enacted, the plan would bring fast and affordable broadband speeds of 100 megabits per second to everyone, which is about 12 times faster than most broadband users currently have in their homes. The plan also aims to bring free Wi-Fi to many cities and greatly increase the mobile phone spectrum. The downside? The National Broadband Plan carries with it an estimated $350 billion price tag. Some say that by the time it goes into effect by 2020, its services will be obsolete. What else is in the 360-page plan the FCC will take to Congress tomorrow? And should the FCC even be in the business of being an internet service provider? I love it when a plan comes together. It's The Loop.
Joining me from New York to help make sense of it all is senior writer for CNET, Maggie Reardon. Welcome, Maggie Reardon.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So the National Broadband Plan aims to accomplish many things, but if you could just break it down, what would you say the major goals are?
Well, really, the major goal is just getting everybody in the U.S. connected to broadband. I mean, you've got a third of Americans who are not using broadband at home for whatever reason, whether it's not available or it's too expensive, and, you know, that's a problem.
So, but what does all this mean for the average internet user? I mean, what, you know, like, let's pretend I don't know anything about broadband. What is the government stepping in? Like, what does that mean to me?
Well, what it means to you is once everybody's connected, we can do all kinds of really cool things. There can be, you know, they can use it for remote health care. They're talking about, you know, another initiative is being able to, you know, monitor the smart grid, and so people know how much electricity they're using. So, you know, broadband kind of opens up the possibilities. You know, they're likening it to electricity to all Americans, right? I mean, that's sort of 100 years ago or whatever, sort of changed society as we know it.
So the people of Walmart will actually be able to see themselves on the People of Walmart website. Finally! So the plan is aiming for 100 megabits per second in 100 million homes by 2020. But a recent study shows that 65% of American homes will have broadbands at those speeds by the end of the year, and 90% of the homes will be at that level by 2012. Is this too little too late 10 years from now?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, because you have to look at the price tag of services like that today. I mean, those are $100 plus. People don't want to spend that much. So I think by 2020, it's very reasonable to think that 100 megabits will be a lot cheaper and a lot more accessible to people. And right now, we can't even, I don't know anybody who needs 100 megabits of bandwidth at home. I mean, I'm sure there are some folks out there, but it's not the average consumer. So I think by 2020, it's reasonable to think that we'll have some new applications that people will want to use. So I think that's a reasonable goal.
But, truthfully, I mean, those numbers are theoretical, too. Like, I have 15 megabits with my plan, which is supposed to be turbo. And it's never 15. Like, those are under optimal conditions. Like, that's not even really that number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right, Spike. One estimate said the plan could cost upwards of $350 billion. But you say that taxpayers shouldn't be too alarmed since the government could actually turn a profit. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. That $350 billion price tag is really the total cost of the investment that a lot of the private sector will put into building this network. But really, the government is only being asked to pony up at probably most $20 billion. And they're expecting to make as much as like $50 billion on selling some excess wireless spectrum licenses once they take it back from all the TV broadcasters. So then if you look at it that way, the government's actually going to be making money.
Oh, I am looking at it that way. You're right. So what roadblocks stand in the way? I mean, like, what do we need to get through to make this actually work?
Well, I think one of the biggest roadblocks is going to be the TV broadcasters. Part of the plan calls for getting 120 megahertz of spectrum from the TV broadcasters. That's over-the-air TV spectrum that people are using, to get rabbit-ear television type thing.
Just give it up already. Let's wipe some of the crap off television and give it to the broadband industry. Not this station, of course. This station's awesome. Final word, though. Does the National Broadband Plan go far enough?
There are some people who are going to say that it doesn't because there wasn't enough in there about competition. But I honestly think that this is a pretty good start. I mean, it's a very comprehensive plan, and I think it goes pretty far. The FCC is being very aggressive in trying to encourage wireless broadband alternatives, and I think that's pretty good. I know I, for one, am someone who's very excited to see 4G wireless service in New York City where I live, because I would love to be able to dump my cable provider and get broadband from a WiMAX or LTE provider.
As would I. Well, I want to thank you, Maggie Reardon, for coming by from CNET to keeping us all in the loop. And now let's go over to a girl who's going to start her own broadband called the Candy Tales. It's Allison Hayslip.
Film fanatic Chris Gore was in Austin, Texas, and he's fixing to talk South by Southwest. Why? It's DVDs Day.
Hey, Chris Gore here with a special South by Southwest edition of DV Tuesday. I'm here at Ironworks Barbecue, the perfect place to tell you about some of my favorite movies from South by's past. First up is 2003 Audience Award winner Melvin Goes to Dinner. Now, you might think that a movie about four friends going to dinner would sound kind of boring, but this movie's directed by Bob Odenkirk of Mr. Show fame. And it also features cameos by Jack Black, who plays a guy who checks himself into the emergency ward when he tells his friends, "Hey, I fell off my pterodactyl."
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. I fell off my pterodactyl, and then they turned me into a nid.
Another great cameo is by David Cross, who's an inspirational speaker who introduces you to a new way of meing.
I don't need this. This isn't for me. You're the ones who need it the most.
Melvin Goes to Dinner is one of the strangest comedies I've ever seen, and I'm happy to have discovered it at South by Southwest.
Exactly.
Now, if road movies is your thing, one of the best in this category is The Puffy Chick. The film is about a typical guy and his girlfriend who set off on a cross-country road trip to pick up a chair that he won on eBay because he wants to give it to his dad.
You're telling me that that chair right there is this chair?
Of course, during the road trip, they get double-crossed. They get married. They get drunk. They crash at a hotel. But you know what? This film never runs out of laughs and heart. It's a drama you don't want to miss. Now, you might recognize the lead as Mark Duplass, also seen in The League. Now, in 2007, one of my favorites was Itty Bitty Committee, also known as IBTC. In this film, we meet a group of sexy feminists. Now, I know, this sounds like a movie we might have covered at the AEE, but it's actually a drama from But I'm a Cheerleader director Jamie Babbitt about a lesbian who hooks up with a group of hell-raising feminists.
Let's rock this bitch.
Okay. They engage in acts of harmless terrorism intended to wake up the world to the plight of women everywhere. Their final act of terror takes them to our nation's capital, where they leave the Washington Monument fully erect.
What the hell's going on?
This is a hilarious political comedy, and the best part, chicks really dig it. Now, while you may not have heard of those previous films, in 2001, South by Southwest showed what has become a cult classic. That is, of course, Broken Lizard's Super Troopers.
I don't touch highway hog.
Baby, I'm sizzling.
Super Troopers established a new gold standard in stoner comedies.
I'm freaking out, man.
Hawaiian gold, as a matter of fact. This beloved group of stoner cops become their own worst enemy when they finally have to solve a real crime.
Are you suggesting that a cartoon monkey is bringing drugs into our town?
Or better yet, this new Blu-ray release of Super Troopers has its own drinking game. So you can drink, or maybe toke, or, you know, whatever it is you do.
Put your hands in the car and spread them.
Oh, now it's some fun for both of us.
Get back in the car!
It's also educational. You'll learn exactly what not to do when officers pull over your car. It's filled with funny-smelling smoke. You're trying to hide stuff. Not that that's ever happened to me. That's it for DVD Tuesday this week. I'm Chris Gore. I'm late for screening.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, DV did it again. You see what I did there? All right, stay tuned. Rebecca Mader from Lost is back from the dead, and she'll be here alive in our studio. Oh my God, I need to know what happens. Oh my God, oh my God.
The feed is delivered to you by Pizza Hut. On Wednesdays, get any Pizza Hut wing for one incredible price.
Our next guest may or may not be returning to Lost in tonight's episode, which could or could not come as a huge surprise, considering this happened to her last season.
Hold on. Hold on. Stay with me. Stay, okay? It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. I've got a plan. I've got a plan. When we're back at the hatch, I talked to Desmond. I told him to find my mother.
How can your mother help us?
She can. What?
I'm not allowed to have chocolate before dinner.
Joining us today, it is Rebecca Mader. P.S. I would like to give you a chocolate waffle dinner. So, Rebecca Beck's hot, British, funny girl, which is important. Why are you so awesome?
I don't know. It's really boring. It's annoying, and it's lonely at the top.
It really is. It really is. Looking down at the throngs of peons who can only bask in your in your light. So, you may be back tonight.
What?
Spoiler-ish. So, how did that, what happens? You just get a call and Damon Lindelof was like, hey, you know how our show has no linear time stream on it? How did that work?
Well, they called me up. They said, what are you doing? I said, I'm freezing my off on doing a movie in New York. And they said, well, we'd love to warm you up. And I said, oh, matron, how do you propose on warming me up? And they were like, in Hawaii. I'm like, oh, yeah, all right.
And so you went back.
Yeah.
And there was some spanking, and then a little bald guy came out, and you patted him on the head, and yakety sax played. So what is this movie that you were working on? We want to hear more about what Rebecca's up to.
Well, since they killed me, I've done about 4 or 5 films, and the one that I had just finished and that I was doing in New York was with Uma Thurman called Ceremony.
Yeah.
And then I did a movie with Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
See, and of course I had to speak to him like that the whole time. I'm sure he wasn't annoyed at all.
Did you quote the Nasonex bee? Oh, Nasonex.
I couldn't do it.
Oh, your nasal passage is dry. I want to make it wet. Did you say stuff like that to him?
It was really hard to not do that. It took everything I had in me to not take the piss.
I'm sure he appreciated it. By the way, that in England they say take the piss. That means have fun, right?
It does.
Here it gets you arrested. Now, I hear tell, word on the street is, Specs, that you are a Mac enthusiast and you will not date a PC user. Can you confirm or deny that?
I can't do it. I've tried it, you know. I've tried to go outside of what I'm comfortable with, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, foreplay with a Mac enthusiast is quick and easy, but with a PC guy, there's like 5 steps before you can actually get to the...
Oh, I'm so bored. So true.
And then blue screen of death. So,
well, there's no shortcuts with the PC. I have no patience for that.
No, not at all. So how did you find out that I'm really turned on right now? Hypothetically speaking, what did you look?
You asked.
Did you try to take a peek at Little Mac? What?
More of an iPod, but yeah.
Whoa! What? A shuffle. All right. These things also sound like penises. What could happen in tonight's Lost episode that you may or may not be involved with?
I don't know. I mean, I could be in it. I could be English. I could have red hair. I could be hot.
All right.
There's
all right.
a plethora.
All right.
There's a plethora. You know? Yeah.
I mean, you can't say anything, but is it like? I'm sure you have some sort of parallel life because now there's this side stream of time. Should we take guesses at maybe what your side stream life is?
Go on then.
Actress Rebecca Mader. What if you just played yourself?
Yes,
super meta.
I did, and I nailed it.
Damn it! This is really. There's so many things that I want to ask, and I know you can't say anything else. So a more serious question is, how does the series end?
Everybody, I don't know.
What? They literally don't tell you? You don't know?
I have no idea.
Do they just give you pages and then go like, here, you don't need to know any more than this?
You literally find out the day before you start moving into another episode. That's when you get your script. So
right.
Totally winging it, yeah.
And then my last question is, where can I stalk you later?
Twitter.
Twitter?
I'm on the Twitter.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of the Twitter.
What's your Twitter username?
Bex Mader.
At Bex Mader, right there. Follow this girl. She is awesome and British and hot and hilarious and on one of the best shows on television. Up top, Bex Mader. The complete 5th season of Lost is now available on DVD. And you are a jerk if you don't watch Rebecca. She maybe returns tonight. I can't say for sure, but it's on ABC and you should watch to find out. Right now, let's send it over to Allison Hayslip, who's in the hatch.
Whoa. Is that what we're calling this part now? Is Desmond here? Because he's like... What? That was the best episode on TV ever! All right, anyway, if you want to travel, but you're broke, time to go hack yourself.
Spring break is finally here. If you want to get away from it all, but don't have a lot of cash, we've got the solution. From learning the local language to finding a cheap place to stay, here are some great ways to hack your vacation and save a ton of money for more enjoyable things. Start your vacation with TripIt.com. It's the easiest way to organize all your travel plans and itinerary in one place. Simply email your flight, rental car, or hotel confirmations to plans@TripIt.com. TripIt will automatically generate not only your complete itinerary, but also a travel forecast, local maps, and even a custom travel guide with places to see and things to do. Access your TripIt schedule from any browser or download the free TripIt app for your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android phone and take your travel plans with you wherever you go. After you pick a destination, you should start brushing up on the local language. Ciao bella. Programs like Rosetta Stone that teach you a foreign language are great, but they can cost you hundreds of dollars. Instead, get everything you need, all for free, at the social language learning site livemocha.com. You can learn one of 35 different languages at a beginner or intermediate level. All you have to do is listen to words and associate them with the pictures.
Quelques fruits.
The site tests what you've learned by having you match a spoken word or phrase to its picture. When you choose the right image, you'll move on to the next word. Done with the free lessons and still want more? You can upgrade to the $15 Plus course for access to even more lessons and the ability to practice what you've learned by talking with actual native speakers via voice chat. With Live Mocha, you just save $675. Now that you know some basic words and phrases, why not start using them to your advantage? Let's meet some ladies. Thanks to the internet, you can have your pick. Hola, chicas! Couchsurfing.org connects you with girls and guys all over the world who are offering complete strangers like you a place to stay. No strings attached. Create a profile so prospective hosts know a little bit about you. Now find your destination and start looking for a couch to surf. You can learn more about your prospective host and their accommodations by reading testimonials from other couch surfers. Once you've found a good match, send a couch request to introduce yourself and let them know when you plan to be in town. You just saved another $400 and hopefully made some pretty friends along the way. Couchez avec moi? With these travel hacks, you'll be saving over 1,000 big ones, and all you have to worry about is having fun. So pack your bags and go hack yourself.
Sure, couch surfing is all well and good until you stay at Dr. Roofie McTouchy's apartment.
Yeah, that's why it's important to learn how to say policia in as many languages as possible. Thanks, Rosetta Stone. Or gracias.
Yeah, still ahead. We will show you the origin of the popular new bumper sticker, Honk If You're Drowning.
That's today's epic fail coming up.
Coming right up.
Hey, guess what? It's time for today's epic fail.
In snowy conditions, a car occasionally has to make an emergency landing where it should not.
But no one will confuse this parking job with the Miracle on the Hudson. Okay, admittedly, that pool did look exactly like the rest of the parking lot.
Let us thank the snow for laying down a majestic blanket of fail. Hey, can I just read a tweet that I got after the Rebecca Maid interview?
Yes.
It's called a sideways flashback, not a side stream.
Chris, I was actually thinking that during the whole interview. I was like, he's calling it the wrong name. How could you do that?
Well, suck it to you two.
It was rather enjoyable making a Flash Baby with you today.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed that as well. That was awesome. We have to raise it now.
So go to g4tv.com/AOTS for all the things you saw today and more.
Thanks to our guests, Rebecca Mader, Chris Gore, Maggie Reardon, the FCC, Blair Herder, our EPs, Kevin and Olivia, my saliva hole. Stick around. Movies That Don't Suck presents Tomorrow That Never Dies. It's up.